assess where you are, strategize where you actually want to be, and not tomorrow or next week, like 5 years from now. And then how are you going to get there? And you don't need these IO dot whatevers or that just popped up every day. You need yourself, and you need your skills and your unique offering to get to that point.
Welcome to the Women Choosing Growth podcast, where we bring you practical advice and guidance on how to grow your business and achieve success in your entrepreneurial journey. We feature inspiring stories of success, challenges of growth, and lessons learned from women entrepreneurs, industry experts, and thought leaders who have been through the growing pains inevitable as an entrepreneur. Whether you are just getting started or are looking to scale up your business, our show is designed to provide you with the tools, resources, and community you need to grow your business. Join your host, Tina, a lifelong entrepreneur and business growth advisor, as we explore topics such as marketing, sales, finance, leadership, and personal growth, all tailored specifically to the needs of women entrepreneurs. So if you're ready to grow your business faster and smarter, and learn from the experiences of those who have traveled the growth path before you, then this podcast is for you. Thanks for tuning in, and let's get started.
Welcome back to another episode. This is part 2 of a great conversation we're having with Courtney Hurley and Kelly Evans, the visionary and co-founders of Screws and Stilettos. In part 1, we talked all about the flow, and really being successful in your business and in your personal life is getting back to the basics and the ability to really focus on what you're supposed to be focusing on. And so if you've missed that episode, make sure you go back and listen to that. This particular portion of our conversation is really about marketing. And Kelly talks about streamlining your toolbox, what tools, resources you need from a marketing standpoint. And it's on that same level of regaining control in your life, regaining control in your business, not having to be doing all the things for all the people with all the tools and resources. Simple is better. So we're about to dive into that part of the conversation here.
And it's amazing that all of a sudden, when you do this, you have time to go to the doctors. And it's not a stressful burden that you postpone 1,000 times. You can do it. You can prioritize things that really matter, that never become a priority because they're not screaming at you in your face, and they're not like hounding you in every waking moment in between the emails and the screen pop-ups and the notifications on your phone and your watch and your everything, the dashboard of your car now. You actually can just focus on what matters to you. And I feel like there's a nice shift lately. People are understanding that social media is not the end of the universe, and it's not a necessity. And it's funny, sometimes people say to me, "Oh, we'll just catch up on Facebook." I say, I don't do Facebook. What do you mean you don't do Facebook? And they're like, "Well, first off, this is your job. And second off, like, this is how people talk." And I cut it out a long time ago. It just, personally, I started noticing it affected me. And I was caring about being upset about things I didn't care about. And I was getting envious or jealous or feeling bad about myself on Instagram on things that literally didn't matter to me. And I noticed when I was
true.
And after I remember laying in bed with my second daughter. She's now 6, and she was a few months, and she's sitting there like laying on her back, just trying to fall back asleep. And I'm sitting on Instagram scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I'm getting deeper and deeper and deeper, like dissatisfied with myself. And all of a sudden hit me. I was like, what am I doing? Like, I actually don't care about this stuff. But it's this world we now live in is so challenging to find that and separate yourself from it, because it's just where it is. But there are ways to communicate without needing to be on social media or Instagram. There are ways to stay relevant and present without having to be distracted all the time. And that's really kind of where, with a lot of what Courtney's learned and taught me and made me do, is the taking the personal side of the flow and really transcending that into our business, and then translating to others. Because one thing that we kept running into is, as we were more and more successful, and we get most of our business through word of mouth, all of our business through word of mouth, and people kept getting more opportunities, and we kept saying we're at capacity. We're going to hire more people. Are we going to do this? We're going to outsource, and we would go and have this conversation, then we go apart and come back next day and people say, no, we just want to stay boutique. We want to stay niche. We want to stay involved with our clients. We don't want to be contract somebody and then hand them off to the next 20-year-old that doesn't know anything, or somebody in the side of the world. We want to actually be part of this problem and solution. And so it was multiple times a tangible decision we had to make, but it really required us ourselves to decide individually and as a team how we wanted to handle this, to make the conscious decision not to grow in a skyrocketing opportunity that we could, but rather grow in a way that made sense to us and wasn't just about quantity, it was about quality, and really discovering that that's a lot of what we can do for other people. And I'm more of a bitter side of the anti-agency world. Courtney's a little bit more respectful about it, but this really is where I kind of came on this anti-agency world, where I thought all these people, all these businesses are just getting sucked dry between agencies and tools and platforms and in necessities you have to do or else. And all it's doing is just bleeding you out. It's not actually helping you succeed in your own way, because none of them actually know anything about you or your business. Today, as you said, we talked to the gentleman in the workshop, and 4 weeks in, we really got to understand what he is and what his business is. 4 weeks in. Nobody in a quick sales call or in an email exchange or in targeted messaging knows who you are, but they are sure as hell going to convince you and do everything they can to tell you that they know everything about you, and if you need them or else you won't survive. But ultimately, you're just feeding their bottom line. And then their goal is to make their bottom line that they not to get to your bottom line, and they're just going to try to hook you in as much as possible. And that's where it becomes a toxic world of tools and third parties and systems, and ultimately all they're doing is working against you because they're not working together. And what you really need is a holistic system, a wheel that works together, talks together, whether it's 1, 2, 3 systems, and that does the work for you, because that's why you're paying for something to do it, not for you to do all the work. You're paying tools to do the work for you, so you actually can go and do your job. I guarantee your job is not marketing. It's not doing your social media. It's not trying to learn Google Ads. It's probably running a business or meeting with clients or providing a service that has nothing to do with what you're doing with your business for marketing. And the problem is that marketing isn't an asset, it's a tool, it's a growth strategy. It is not your job. And that's where it really has changed with all these tools and systems, is it's become people's job and it's become their burden. And it's not actually getting them where they need to be in the world we live in right now.
And it sounds like one of the things that makes you, both of you, different than the agency world is you're doing a lot of education. You're doing, you mentioned that you're like, you'll set them up, make sure they have the foundation, set them up, teach them, and then they can, either these systems are running for them for the most part, and they don't need you as much, which is
the best day of the client is the day they break up with us, because we say we know we did our job and we know that they're in good hands and that they can do it and that they're happy and they'll come back. It's like it's a very satisfying moment. But ultimately, we found that we don't want to just suck people dry. We don't want to just have as many people as we can, and we really want to have a small niche group where we're servicing them and providing them and giving them the tools and the ability to go out and succeed on their own, individually and as a business, and then move on to the next one. And that's really kind of a very unique offering that we've found that people really appreciate. And I can't tell you the amount of times people have commented on that, how different it is, and how they've gone through 6 agencies and suddenly they're stuck with us and not going anywhere. We're like, you don't need to be stuck with us. We want you to move on. But no, it's so different. But it's like, it's a really, it's a really gratifying experience to be able to help people this way. But with Courtney was saying about the flow side, individually, yes, we really focus on individual, dissection and understanding to be able to perform at your individual best. But the whole purpose is so that your business or your job, you can perform at your best as well. Obviously, and individual matters first and foremost, but to how to transcend that to your business. So as Courtney was saying, like distractions, it is impossible in this world to shut off all the distractions. But if you, from a business perspective, the first thing we always say is like, assess what you have. look at all the tools you have and dump most of everything. You don't need them. You might think you do, but those 3 people coming from here, those 2 things coming from there, it costs you more time, energy, stress, resources than it's bringing you. So assess where you are, strategize where you actually want to be, and not tomorrow or next week, like 5 years from now. And then how are you going to get there? And you don't need these IO dot whatevers or that just popped up every day. You need yourself, and you need your skills and your unique offering to get to that point. And then what are the essentials you need? You're going to need a core system that's going to connect your data, whether it's contacts or products or whatever it is. You need a centralized database, and that database has to be intertwined with your other core tools. You should only have a few core tools. It should be the essentials for your business to operate, for you to service your clients and their needs, and for you to be able to communicate them with wherever possible. Ideally, that's 1 or 2 tools, maybe 3. But if you have more than that, you need to cut them, because they're just costing you more time and resources, and you're not being effective at all, because those tools, I guarantee, if you have more than 3, are not communicating to each other. So you're just paying for nothing, because the whole point of tools in this day and age is for them to be smart, intelligent, connecting to each other, and give you predictive learnings. They're not just collecting things, they're learning and educating and deciding and helping you move forward for you. And if you don't have them talking, you might as well not have them at all, because you're just now still trying to connect the dots and you're just guessing.
Can you give examples of that? Because I mean, even for me, I know we did a little streamlining of that earlier this year, but that sounds good. But give me an example of someone maybe that you worked with that had all these, like, what were these things? And then what is it that they actually really only needed to use?
Court, did you have anything top of mind, or do you want me to go?
You can go.
Okay, so a lot of times we find websites on one platform, landing pages on another platform, social media automations on another platform, ads are on a different automated platform. Then it's like, calendars, let's throw another platform in there. Oh, phone systems, text messages. What else do we have? There's 10 different things, and none of them talk. So you need, if you're calling me, Tina's calling Kelly, I need to know you called me. I need to know when you called me. I need to know your history you called me. I need to know if you came to my website. I need to know if you opened an email. I need to know if you read a text message. I need to know if you went on a cart and what you looked at and if you purchased it. All of those things need to talk and be in a centralized place. So when Tina calls me, I know who Tina is, and I can service you because I understand your history. If you have all the disconnected tools, they are never going to do that, and Tina's not going to get what you want, because today's day and age, TikTok world, everybody gets everything instantly. And if you don't have TikTok's infrastructure to be able to service that person in 0.5 seconds and give them 15 seconds of their exact guilty pleasure, and then give them another one right after that, another one right after that, and tailor it instantly, you're failing, because that's the expectation everybody has. And if your systems are all over the place, you're never going to get close to that. So someone's going to come into your website and they're going to look at something and they're going to click on a calendar, and that calendar is going to go off to Calendly, and that Calendly is going to go to your Gmail, and that Gmail is going to go to your MailChimp, and that MailChimp is going to go somewhere else. And guess what? You've lost that person just because your tools have now brought them out into outer space, and they're not coming back to that one person came to the website. You now know they came to the website. They fill out a calendar. The calendar is notified to you in the same system, and you have the whole history there. And that's one of the reasons why we've ended up moving a lot of people to HubSpot recently. Is not we don't work for HubSpot, and a few years ago I would never have pushed the HubSpot for people because it didn't have all the things you needed. You had to have different tools. But in the last year or so, they've really done an amazing job in bringing the systems to talk in together, or at least letting them talk to each other. Like Shopify and HubSpot's new integration, you need to have a Shopify e-commerce and you need to have HubSpot. You have to have the two systems, but they now integrate seamlessly. Like you wouldn't notice that they're different tools in terms of how the data is. And now that person can come into Shopify and the whole system and everything, their history, you can look back 10 years and you can see if they've ever read a text message. You can see any emails they've opened. You can see all the other general analytics HubSpot has on them in one place, even though you're shopping their shopping system somewhere else. So that's really where we found that you have to have decentralized one place. So what data matters the most to you? Most likely is your customer data. That's where you need to find your central tool And then you need to pick your 2 or 3 build like tech pieces to add on. So is it e-commerce? Is it social? Probably not essential. Is it product? Whatever it is, those 3, is it just offer or service you're offering? Those things, and make sure that system has those to what you need, or easily as a direct tie-in. And then you just start there, get rid of everything else, because every other beautiful new app and tool is not giving you anything but more distraction. So clear your slate, start with your foundation, and then you can always add something in later. So if you find months from now that some sort of SMS tool or some sort of chat tool is really moving the needle for you, then you can bring it in. But in the meantime, you've made your system be smart and do the job for you. Because the most important skill in any business now, any marketer, doesn't matter what your education is, doesn't matter what your income is, what your background is, it's listening. Nobody cares anymore, because everyone wants to be serviced and be heard instantly. If you're not listening and your tools are not doing the listening for you, you've lost, because you can't just have a static thing anymore. When Tina comes to site, I need to have Tina's face on there. I need to have Tina's favorite things. I need to have Tina's favorite colors. And if it doesn't look like that, I'm going to lose you to the next person who is going to do that, because that's the expectation nowadays. And the most powerful tool you can have, most powerful skill you can have, is to give up on trying to lead and start and focus on leading by listening. And then second off, rely on your tools to do the job you're supposed to do, which is tie it all together and automate it, and stop bringing in other third parties to do it for you, because your roadmap to success is your independence. So you can see where things are, you can control your costs, you can control how things function, and you can be agile and pivot when needed, because that's where our world is. COVID happens, everything changes. We had a client who was all brick and mortar. COVID happened, everything got shut down. Suddenly, what are they supposed to do? 30 years in business, and they cannot sell. And they didn't have the first thing to start a website. And it's today's day and age, you have to have enough control and simplification that you can pivot on a dime and move with the times. When ChatGPT came out, everything changed overnight. And that's how our world is. You have to be able to be flexible enough to do that.
Hey, incredible women entrepreneurs, it's Tina Sue here. I know you're juggling a lot, growing your business, managing family time, and trying to find balance. Deep down, you know you're capable of so much more, but maybe fear or uncertainty is holding you back from achieving that dream business, that dream life that you deserve. That's why I created the Dream Big, Plan Bigger guide, a game changer for your business growth. This isn't just another goal-setting document. It's your personal roadmap to achieving the impossible. Imagine having a clear vision of your biggest dreams, breaking through the barriers that hold you back, and reigniting that passion that fuels your journey. This guide is your roadmap to doing just that without compromising your family time or your personal priorities. You deserve to see your business thrive and still have time for what you love. Let's take this journey together. Download your free Dream Big, Plan Bigger workbook now at tina-sue.com and start making those dreams a reality. Now, let's get back to the show. And the world is changing. We just installed ChatGPT on my parents' phone this weekend. So it's not just our generation. And you know what the sad thing is? How we described it is like, it's basically what you'd use for Google, Mom, but you don't have to read all of the options. It's just going to give you your answer. Like, how lazy are we that we couldn't click on the top 3 Google options?
It's so sad, but it's world.
Real.
Like,
yeah,
and that's why I'm saying businesses, if you think you can have 5 tools and you're going to survive, you are kidding yourself, because you're going to go bankrupt, broke, or lose your mind and quit in 18 months. There's no way in today's day and age a business can survive with many tools and third parties, because it is everything is instant and it's predictive and it's generative. And if you don't have the tool to do that for you, you're never going to beat it. You're never going to beat AI and getting a faster result in these things. You're going to lose, and that's it. And you're going to drive yourself crazy and broke on the way.
Yeah. A personal example of that last year or sometime earlier this year, even with the podcast, just one piece of marketing for a business, right? And there was where you record, and then there's where you do your edits, and then there's the where you actually make it pretty for Instagram and the socials. And it was like, no, there's like too many steps, there was literally like 3 different softwares. So we found
just this week, Courtney and I had a system where a situation where I was shaking my head because we had Zoom recordings that needed to be moved over to Loom to then put into the cloud, share with somebody. And it was how many text messages and conversations back and forth. Hey, did you download this thing? And this is the biggest waste of time, because in today's day and age, it is a waste of time. So immediately I'm thinking, you got to either connect Zoom, Loom, and Google Drive, or we need to get rid of 2 and find the one that works, because it's just too many. And then, of course, what the trap that every single software puts into you now is the reason why Zoom had to go to Loom, because Zoom says, oh, you hit your cloud recording, which wasn't very much. You need to upgrade to the next level, And we don't need to upgrade. We don't need these recordings in there. It just happens to be the week of recordings. So then you're now exporting them to then not have to upgrade. But everything says, no, you just need to upgrade to this. It's like, no, you don't. But that's how they're growing their bottom line. That's why they have you. You are another number at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. I love how that's connected to what we just talked about with you, Courtney, and the flow, and just really being mindful and being focused on, like, from a personal standpoint, but from the marketing standpoint, you're basically saying the same thing, Kelly, of be real, like, simple is good if you're going back to, like, what is it that you really need? We don't need all the gadgets. We don't need to be distracted by 20 new softwares that show up, and
like you don't need Facebook, Instagram,
YouTube,
LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest, like TikTok. Guess what? Probably none of them are the most going to move the needle for you. But if anything, 1 or 2, and get rid of the rest. When someone says to me, "You think we should get Pinterest?" Why? Why should you get Pinterest? Because is it going to be the be all end all? Is that what you're missing in your business? Probably not. It's probably going to cost you more time and effort than it's ever going to turn.
Yeah. And you know that those algorithms change all the time. We've seen that with, like, I've been looking too of different people that I follow professionally, and like they'll get 2 hits on their Instagram.
Mm-hmm. I think we lost Court.
So I think that is a really great connection between the personal side, the marketing side, all of the business, personal life, and really getting strategic and intentional on your moves. What final words of advice do both of you have for our listeners?
Kelly, you want to go first?
You can go ahead, Court.
Okay, so in terms of the flow side of things, I would say it really getting back to the basics of how we function innately, what are the actual mechanisms that happen within the body when you get into flow, and how to leverage that to your advantage, how to push aside. You want to learn how to push aside the attention deficit environment that we've created, that we live in, to be able to realign your focus, not just you're physically focused on your work, but also to realign towards what your actual purpose is. You want to be able to get that create your North Star, your guiding light, and be able to leverage that in everything that you do. And you want to feel confident about that. And that's really what's going to then transcend into your business and also your personal life. And you're just going to end up finding more joy and happiness. But with that, it really comes back to simplifying things, to allowing yourself to be bored again. I mean, how often do you just sit there in silence on an elevator instead of picking up your phone, or sit there on silence at a table while you're waiting for your friend who's gone to the bathroom? And it's really about finding those moments of silence again, finding that focus again, to then be able to flourish when it really matters, and to be able to increase that productivity towards the things that are going to move the needle in your life and help you to achieve that long-term purpose. And that really is the base foundation beyond for your business, but for you as a person. And well, in the marketing side, we're all about, let's go back to the basics and make sure your foundation is in place. It also transcends into the personal side and making sure that on a personal level, you have those basics in place. So then you can get the basics properly in place for your business and fast and be agile. And then you can grow your business and meet your long-term purpose and meet those big, hairy, audacious goals that seem scary to you and you can't even fathom how you're going to get there. You will get there. But it all starts with going back to the beginning and being able to leverage the neuroscience and your physiology and being able to work with what is the natural state of work and flow and living like a lion. I mean, hunting vigorously when you're hunting type thing, when you're working, and then relaxing to the 10th degree when not, to be fully present for your family and friends, or those activities that provide value to you, and to be fully present in your work when not. And that's how you're going to get the most out of both worlds.
Love it.
No, I think Court's spot on. I was going to say, it sounds a little cliche, but she kind of covered it with you have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of others. It's the same for your business. You have to be in a good state to be able to make your business be in a good state and succeed. And it really, as I said before, it really comes down to simplifying. Less is more. You don't need all of these things. You don't need to do everything. You don't need to listen to everyone's advice. The best thing you can do is to block your competitors and block all the different temptations out there of different ways to expand here, grow your sales, do this, and focus on what matters for your business. And when you're looking for what to do or you need inspiration, think about what business brand do you respect? It really just means something to you. Is it Apple? Is it trying to think
Nike? Is it
Nike? Yeah. Is it I'm trying to think something. Is it like UNICEF? Like what business that's so outside your realm and so much bigger than you really resonates with you, and you respect them, and they really talk to you. Then when you're looking for inspiration or competitive edge, go look at them. Get inspired by them, find with why you like them, why they speak to you, and then translate that to your business, because that's the only way you're going to beat a competitor and be successful, is if you do it your own way. If you nobody ever won by chasing. If you chase your competitors and you stalk them, not only does it make you toxic, it's a waste of your time, you get frustrated and you waste a lot of time ranting, you're never going to beat them because you're just following them. You have to come up with your own path, and the best way to do that is to go what inspires you. And not on your business. Go outside of your industry. Find out why do you really love Volvo? And what is it about them? Samsung, I don't know. Find out that company and then look at them and then translate that into your world. And I guarantee you're going to be instantly more successful, a lot happier, and over the long run be significantly more successful than if you follow your competitors. You want to be on the pulse. You want to know what they're doing, but do not follow them. Do not stalk them daily.
Yes, that starts a bad reputation.
Mm-hmm. No, but it's also toxic for yourself. You say, why are they doing this? Oh my gosh, I have this. And next thing you know, you're now just bleeding out again, and you're frustrated, and you're not actually spending any energy on what matters, which is growing your business or focusing on your business.
Well, and you're not unique, right? If you're following and doing exactly
Absolutely.
what
they just won because they distracted you.
Yeah, literally. Yes. I love it. I love the fact that it connects back to your name of Screws and Stilettos. It really, at first, when I first asked you how the name came about, it makes so much sense now. It's like foundational has to be in place first. And then
some people think it's dirty, but it's not dirty. It never was intended to be.
If you start with a mess and you scale it, you are only scaling a mess. You need to have a clean, simplified setup and then scale that.
And solid. Screws are better than nails.
True.
A lot better than toothpicks.
They are more solid. They're going to hold your foundation together a lot stronger. and then you can be your best self in your red stilettos.
And who doesn't feel great when they put on a pair of stilettos and walk like, damn, I look good. Like,
Exactly. I'm taller. My calves are leaner. It's all the things.
Stand up straighter.
Stand up straighter. You have to. You're very conscious of your walking so you don't break an ankle. All the things. Ladies, I love it. I know some listeners are going to want to get your expertise on both sides of this, the flow, and then just how to simplify their marketing. You mentioned the workshop, so we'll have that in the show notes as well as all of the places to connect with you. And I'm sure it's not going to be the YouTube, like all of them.
Don't be surprised we don't.
Are you on Pinterest?
We are not on Pinterest.
Sorry.
You can find us.
But really, it's the hardest thing is people
Instagram,
get off them. Yeah, no, we're on Instagram. But you find what works for you, what resonates, what represents you, and that's where you stick.
Perfect. Love it.
That's
Thank you so much.
For me on Instagram.
Thank you
very much. I really appreciate it
today. Yes, appreciate you.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. The Women Choosing Growth Show is not just another podcast. It's a tribe of women helping each other grow. So please, share this podcast with all the women entrepreneurs that you would love to see succeed. If you'd like to know more about customized business advising through Cultivate Advisors, download business tools, or sign up for upcoming events, visit www.womenchoosinggrowth.com. Once again, that's www.womenchoosinggrowth.com. Remember, we are in this together. See you on the next one.